There's a quiet shift happening right now, and most people don't see it until it's already changed the rules of the game. Big companies aren't shouting about it. They're not putting it in press releases or flashy keynote slides. But behind closed doors, they're all doing the same thing, automating in a very specific way they don't want copied. And this isn't about robots taking jobs or basic software replacing paperwork. This is something far more strategic, something subtle, something designed to protect power. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The automation trend shaping the next decade isn't about speed. It's about control. Most people think automation means replacing workers, cutting costs, or using AI tools to do things faster. That's the surface-level version, the one sold to the public. But the real automation trend happening inside major corporations focuses on decision-making, not labor. Big companies are quietly automating judgment. Instead of trusting human managers, teams, or even executives, they're building systems that decide what matters, who gets resources, which ideas survive, and which disappear. Humans still exist in the process, but only as operators, not decision-makers. And here's where it gets interesting. These systems don't just automate tasks. They automate priorities. Every action gets scored. Every employee behavior gets tracked. Every customer interaction feeds a system that decides what should happen next, without emotion, without debate, without transparency. This is why companies don't want you copying it. Because once decisions are automated, accountability disappears. If a worker gets laid off, the system made the call. If a product idea dies, the data didn't support it. If customer service declines, the algorithm optimized for efficiency. No human takes the blame. Now let's talk about how this actually looks inside real companies. Instead of asking, "What do our customers need?" the system asks, "What maximizes retention probability within the next 90 days?" Instead of asking, "Is this employee talented?" the system asks, "Does this employee's output pattern align with high performers?" Instead of asking, "Is this a good long-term move?" the system asks, "Does this decision improve short-term metrics we can report?" This kind of automation doesn't just guide people, it boxes them in. Employees stop thinking creatively because the system rewards predictability. Managers stop leading because dashboards tell them what to do. Executives stop trusting instinct because the model says otherwise. And slowly, quietly, the company becomes harder to challenge from the inside. Now here's the part no one likes to admit. This automation trend works at scale. It makes companies efficient, consistent, and incredibly hard to disrupt. It removes human friction, human doubt, and human disagreement. And in industries where margins are tight and competition is brutal, that's powerful. But it comes at a cost. Innovation slows down. Risk-taking disappears. Original thinking becomes dangerous, because systems don't like surprises. And here's why big companies don't want smaller businesses, creators, or startups copying this approach blindly. When automation replaces judgment too early, it kills adaptability. Large corporations can afford it because they already dominate their markets. They're defending territory, not discovering new ground. Automation helps them lock things in place. But if a smaller player copies this model, they don't become efficient, they become fragile. They stop listening. They stop experimenting. They stop noticing subtle changes in human behavior that no system can fully capture. And yet, everyone is being sold the same promise. Automate everything, remove emotion, trust the data. What they're not telling you is this: the data only reflects the past. Cannot imagine the future. Big companies understand this. That's why the most important decisions are still made quietly, behind closed doors, by a small group of humans. The system supports those decisions, it doesn't replace them. But externally, they promote full automation because it keeps competitors chasing the wrong goal. If everyone copies the surface-level automation, nobody notices where real power still lives. And that's the trend they don't want you copying. Because automation isn't dangerous when it saves time. It becomes dangerous when it replaces thinking. And in the next part, we'll talk about how this trend affects creators, entrepreneurs, and everyday workers, and how to use automation without surrendering control. So what does this mean for people outside those boardrooms? For creators, founders, freelancers, and even employees watching this shift from the outside, The danger isn't automation itself. The danger is copying the wrong layer of it. Most people automate tasks and feel productive. Then they automate workflows and feel professional. But the moment they start automating decisions, what to make, who to serve, what direction to take, they quietly give up their biggest advantage, their human edge. Here's something big companies know but rarely say out loud. Automation is safest after clarity, not before it. Large corporations already know who they are, who they serve, and how they make money. Automation just protects that structure. But individuals and smaller teams are still discovering those answers in real time. If they let systems decide too early, they freeze themselves into yesterday's version of success. You see it everywhere. Creators chasing algorithms instead of audiences. Businesses optimizing funnels instead of fixing trust. Workers following metrics instead of mastering skills. The system rewards what's measurable, not what's meaningful. And slowly, people stop asking the most important questions because the dashboard looks fine. This is how automation becomes a cage. Now, let's flip the perspective. Used correctly, automation can be a shield, not a replacement for thinking, but a guardrail around it. The healthiest use of automation doesn't decide what you do. It decides how efficiently you do what you've already chosen intentionally. Big companies don't automate curiosity. They automate repetition. They don't automate vision. They automate execution. That distinction matters more than any tool, platform, or AI model. If you're a creator, automation should protect your creative energy, not dictate your creative direction. If you're running a business, automation should reduce friction, not remove judgment. If you're an employee, automation should free your time, not define your value. Once automation starts telling you who you are, what you're worth, or what risks you're allowed to take, you've crossed the line. And here's the part most people miss. Big companies still rely on humans when stakes are high. They use instinct when data is incomplete. They trust experience when models conflict. They slow down when systems push speed. Automation runs the engine, humans still steer. The myth is that everything is automated. The reality is that power stays human. That's why copying the surface-level strategy fails so often. People see the tools but miss the restraint. They see efficiency but miss discretion. They see automation but miss the boundaries. The future doesn't belong to those who automate the most. It belongs to those who know what not to automate. Because the most valuable things, trust, timing, taste, judgment, don't scale cleanly. They resist systems. And that resistance is where differentiation lives. As automation becomes cheaper and more accessible, thinking becomes the rare skill. The ability to pause, override the system, and choose a harder path will matter more than ever. And that's the real trend big companies don't want copied. Not because automation is secret, but because discernment is. So if there's one lesson to take from all of this, it's simple: use automation to move faster, not to think less. Use systems to support judgment, not to replace it. And never let a dashboard convince you it understands humans better than you do. Because in a world where everyone is automating, the most dangerous thing you can do is stop thinking for yourself. If this made you look at automation differently, not as a shortcut but as a strategic choice, let me know by hitting like. It helps more people see this side of the conversation. Subscribe if you want deeper breakdowns like this, the kind that go beyond headlines and trends, and into how power actually works behind the scenes. And tell me in the comments, what's one thing you refuse to automate no matter how advanced the tools become? I'll see you in the next one.